More on this military takeover in Guinea. I'm joined now by our international affairs editor, Armen, Georgian, here in the studio. Armen, the detention of Conde and the army's takeover is, of course, being closely monitored over Guinea's borders. What international reaction have we had in so far?
Well, as you'd expect, a lot of condemnation, both from international bodies such as the United Nations and individual countries like the US, Russia, France, and others. In terms of those regional or continental bodies that are affected when this kind of event happens, the African Union has suggested that there will be an urgent meeting of the Peace and Security Council to discuss appropriate measures. We don't know exactly what that means, appropriate measures, but there's one regional body that has already used the S word, sanctions, and that is ECOWAS, the Economic Community of West African States. They have already mentioned that as a possibility if there isn't a return to constitutional order in Guinea. And this is not an idle threat, actually, Tom, because if you think back to what ECOWAS did after the coup in Mali in August of last year, they actually did apply sanctions which had an economic impact on the country. So for those who believe that ECOWAS is just going to talk and not do anything, history suggests otherwise. And I suspect that the worry now must be that if there is to be any economic sanctions, that would further worsen the situation in the country, because remember that the price of fuel has gone up 20%, taxes have gone up recently as well, so the economic situation has already been worsening in Guinea.
And meanwhile, Armen, what have Guinea's former colonial rulers here in France been saying? How have they been dealing with this?
Well, the relations actually have not been good between President Macron and Alpha Conde. In an interview in November, Macron said that he regretted that Alpha Conde organized a referendum and a change in the constitution in order to stay in power. That was Macron's words. He didn't send a letter of congratulations. And since then, things have really got worse. There have been two opposition figures in Guinea who have died in detention, and that was something that France was angry about, as were other European Union countries. And I think generally France has not really appreciated the sense that Alpha Conde has turned away from a traditional partner, France, and towards countries that France doesn't have good relations with, such as Turkey of President Erdogan and Vladimir Putin of Russia. So that kind of turning away was probably something also that didn't go down very well in Paris. But having said all of that, Tom, France really had no option but to condemn this apparent coup, because it did the same after the two recent coups in Mali, so it couldn't very well not do the same thing here, even if relations are not good with Alpha Conde.
Okay, Armen, Georgian, our international affairs editor, thank you very much.